Well, welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we interview people who have social proof, meaning it's not just a secret, their success. You know, there's a lot of people they'll tell you how popping they are, but they're the only person that knows about it. But social proof is people who have really created a movement and created success for themselves. So, got a very special guest. First off, I just been seeing, did you bring me a jacket? I'd buy it. It's just,
I completely forgot.
I definitely need that jacket. Sheesh. But I've been seeing this brand everywhere, and me going to an HBCU, I went to Alabama A&M.
Oh, okay.
Not for long. You know what I mean? I didn't do as well as my mom thought I would, but I just been seeing a brand like crazy. So Justin, Corey, I guess you guys can introduce yourselves.
Yeah, so my name is Corey, CEO of Support Colleges. I'm originally from North Carolina, Greensboro, and I went to Howard University.
Nice.
Justin Phillips from Houston, Texas. And yeah, I mean, that's me.
Where'd y'all meet?
At Howard, when we were at Howard.
Gotcha. So tell me the story of like how you guys first met.
I'll let Corey tell that.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting. I was a sophomore. He was a freshman. I threw parties on campus.
Hold on, let me make sure this thing's recording because this joint might get real good. And then if it ain't recording, all right, cool, we good.
I good.
I've been just
Oh, yeah, love. No,
I've
for
had all
sure.
interviews where no audio. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead. First, how y'all first met?
Yeah, so I was a sophomore. He was a freshman. I was throwing parties on campus. So there was this one party in particular that it was like a house party near my dorm. And I was like working the door, like just making sure everything was going straight. I'm the person during the party that's making sure everything's going well while people are turning up. So I noticed that he was sitting outside, like across the street of the party. And I was kind of just like, that's random and kind of weird. Like, mind you, when he was in college, he used to have this big afro. So it's super noticeable. Like, you couldn't really hide. So I went out there and I was like, hey, you straight? Like, you good? Like, come on in or whatever. Because, you know, I just thought maybe something was wrong. Maybe he was too drunk or you just never know. I mean, like, just a random freshman just sitting there. I just had to make sure he was straight. So he was like, oh, no,
you were a freshman at this point too?
I was a sophomore.
You were a sophomore, he's a freshman. Okay, gotcha.
So he was like, I'm good. I'm just like peeping scenes, like what y'all got going on because I used to throw parties in Houston. So I'm just trying to like see how y'all operate. And so I was like, that's interesting. And I was like, well, just come on in. Like, you ain't got to stay outside the whole time. And so just from that moment, I knew kind of like he thought of things a different way. Because all the other freshmen were like, oh, like, you know, turn out, da, da, da. And he was like trying to like really see like what was going on so that he could fit himself into the equation, whether it's going against us, with us, like just trying to figure out what was going on. So that's how we initially met.
And you had a team already.
Yeah. So I had a team of sophomores. We had been throwing parties as a freshman. One of my big brothers kind of like brought us all in, and then we had a team already. And then sophomore year, we wanted to add some freshmen anyways. We just didn't know who yet. And so immediately I was like, we adding him. Like no matter what, we're adding him. And so that's kind of how I got started.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Justin, what were you doing, bro?
I was trying to see what was going on. Like, I came from throwing parties since I was like 14, 15, like in Houston. Like, that's what we did to make money where I was from. So when I came down there, my thought process was, what's going on? Where's the money being taken at? Who's running the scene? Like, what's really going on?
How old are you at this point? What, 17, 18?
I skipped the grades, so I was 16, like right when I went into college.
Gotcha.
So I was just trying to see what was going on. I was trying to see who had the money, like where was that?
Really?
Like,
that's crazy because when I went to college, I wasn't focused on none of that. Like I was just in college, like it was just in awe, right?
Yeah.
But like you really was focused on like scoping the scene, like seeing what was really going on.
Yeah, I was trying to see
Got you. So how did like this relationship evolve from that point?
Yeah, so from there, we became friends after that, right? So the bigger bro that we were talking about, they pretty much put us on any party, but at that point,
so you just came on, like
it was kind of weird because there was like a separation between their team where this group wanted these freshmen and this group wanted these freshmen. So it was kind of like they were fighting for who was going to be on the team, and the whole time I was like, I just wanted to do my own thing because I wanted to like be my own person as well.
So you didn't even want to be on the team.
Like, no, I wanted to like, obviously be friends.
Yeah, he wanted to be with us, but like have his own thing as well.
Brand. So I kind of just that's how it ended up happening. The relationship kept growing because I was able to create something for myself and become like a figure on campus, but also collaborate with them. So we kept throwing parties together, but I was just like doing my own thing, but throw parties with them as well.
Gotcha. So for the next, I guess, 3 years, you guys hung out?
Yeah.
A few years.
Did both y'all graduate?
I didn't. He did.
Yeah.
So I actually stopped going to college. Well, actually my sophomore year, later that year, I had to stop going to school because I didn't have enough money to go to school. So I ended up going home and then having to come back. I just did this like fundraising thing, ended up raising like $14,000 to get back to school, and then I continued.
How'd you do that?
That's a whole nother story.
Right.
I mean, essentially,
You just wanted to be in college that bad? Like,
I mean, the thing is, one thing about me is I don't like people telling me no. And so if the answer is no, then it's like I'm gonna find a way. So one day I went to swipe my meal card at the caf, and it was like saying that it got declined. And like I knew that I had a meal plan, like for sure. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I went to the A building, financial building, and they were like saying that your account was dropped. And I was like, what do you mean? There was like basically this loan didn't come through, and like it was just a lack of communication.
Black colleges.
So, long story short, I still had stayed out there for a while. I was still there that year, but a lot of people didn't know I wasn't in class. I was staying in people's dorms and just kind of like,
there.
I was living. But I was still money to be made. We were still on parties, and I like was working a job. Like I was still making money, but it came to a point where I was like, I can't do this no more, and I had to go home. And being at home, I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina, not too much going on. It was really hard to like see what was going on at school, and then me just being at home, so I got to get back. And so I basically created this GoFundMe before GoFundMe everybody did it. I created this. I built my own website, and I like just made it look really good. Did a lot of videos, and ended up doing this crowdsourcing campaign that ended up getting me on MTV and BET.
Really?
And I raised total $32,000.
Yo, were you focused on getting the money so you can get back to the money in college, or you was like, yo, I really want to graduate. I'm not gonna be doing this forever?
It was a little bit of both. I mean, I loved being at Howard, and I love being in DC. That was my first time away from home for a long time. So just being in there, like I missed it. Like, I mean, Howard is dope. I mean, a bunch of cool people, a bunch of fine women. Like, it's DC, not Greensboro, North Carolina. It's a bunch. It's a lot of different reasons why I wanted to be there. But I felt like I had made my mark at Howard, and I wanted to keep going with like the momentum I had. And so it kind of just stopped me like mid tracks, like as if somebody would stop me right now. Like, how do I get back to this? So it was like I felt like I was missing out if I wasn't there.
Gotcha. So did you graduate?
I didn't graduate.
So you fought to get back, got
I
back.
fought to get back. Oh yeah. I fought to get back, and then I made it to the end of my junior year, and then going into my senior year, they said I owed $30,000 again. I was like,
straight.
I'm not paying that. Like I had got what I needed already. So the degree, I was never going to end up working for somebody full time anyways. So it was kind of just like, I mean, I could pay just to say I graduated, but I could also just be like, all right, thank y'all for what y'all gave me, the connections, the lessons I did learn, the classroom stuff I learned, but I'm gonna just go ahead and take this. I had got some job offers already. Nobody asked me if I graduated. They just saw what I could do.
Nobody cared.
And I just went on with it.
Gotcha. So Justin, y'all were getting money together for 3 strong years.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And then you left. The 3rd year, you were still there.
Yeah, I was.
Were you still throwing parties that 4th year?
Yeah. So at that time, I had like I was like arguably like the most popular person on campus, and I was just like, me and my roommate at the time, he kind of jumped on with me. So we started doing stuff together, and it was
just y'all two.
Yeah, just me and him.
How'd you break away from like the conglomerate that y'all put together?
I mean, it was just
easy.
like we were still
Internal
friends.
beef?
Nah, it wasn't even like that.
It was kind of like, I had like kind of not left my team, but my team like was doing less work. And so it was easy for me to be like, all right, me and Justin, what we trying to do? And if I want to include them, and if not, not. Because even though I was at a school that after my junior year, I was still in DC.
Right.
So we still were doing things together.
Yeah.
It was just like, now I didn't have to include the team, or I could. But a lot of times, because everybody, as you get older in college, people start doing different things.
For sure.
And only people that was consistent was me, him, and his roommate.
Yeah, so it turned into more so the team and me to Corey, me, and my roommate. We call him Alaska. So it turned into us breaking bread and like getting paid for ticket sales and stuff like that, to us 3 splitting all the money that was made from the events. So and we did that for a very long, like as long as we could.
And even that 4th year while you were in school, you were still in DC, so y'all still.
Yeah, I was still in DC. I was working. At that time, I was working for a tech startup that was actually based out of New York, ran by Sean Parker, which is one of the guys who created Facebook. Wow. So I was living in New York and DC, still throwing parties, still just getting active.
And what year was this? What year did you graduate?
16.
I
was supposed to graduate 15, but you know how it should go. And graduated 2016.
Yeah, gotcha. So you graduate. Are you nervous? Or are you thinking, yeah, I'm going to throw parties forever?
Nah, I immediately didn't want to throw parties anymore.
Really?
I had been doing it so long. Like, my mom was in bottle service. Like, she had me super young. So I watched her do bottle service, like, all while I grew up. So I was in the club like 21 and up, like at 14, 15. Like just, you know, if I wanted to go, I could. So I would just do it. So at that point, I was like, all right, I got to do something else. Like I'm done. I made money. Like it's cool. And I didn't want to be known for throwing parties. I just knew that I wanted to like build a personal brand and then now be able to do whatever I wanted with it. So yeah, I graduated and then I was trying to figure shit out. It was bad. Like graduation was like really bad time for me because I was the most popular kid on campus, but I had no job offers. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a place to stay. I didn't know what I was doing, so like I got really depressed at that time. But
because you didn't know what
I didn't know what was going on.
Once you get in the real world, there is no most popular.
Right. I was just like, all right, what's all this for? You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It just I didn't know.
So what did you do? So graduation, what happened?
Yeah, I just started like I had to start working, bro. Like my thing is
Where'd you work?
well, not working, like just trying things. So it was more so like if I'm not moving, if I'm not out trying to do something, then my mind would go to a bad place. So I'm literally out the house like trying to go get into something. Like I need to be doing something, moving or whatever. I ended up moving back to Houston and I got a job like 2 days after I moved back, just sent my resume out and then landed a job doing digital marketing, which I had been doing the whole time in college. And then
What was your degree in?
audio production, actually. So audio production, a minor in graphic design. And then did that job for a few months, 5-6 months, and I quit. I just couldn't work for nobody. Like, it's just not in my DNA. And then that's when Corey was like, yo, come down to Atlanta. I kind of played with it at first, didn't make that move the first time. Ended up getting into some trouble, and then I was like, all right, I'm about to just leave. And then,
In Houston?
In Houston, yeah.
Like legal trouble?
Yeah, like.
What'd you do, Justin?
Just doing a bunch of...
What happened? Is the case closed already? I was touching yourself.
I didn't get caught doing anything, so
You knew.
I was just doing shit. It was one of those things where it's like, all right, something bad enough happened to where it's like you either stay and go through and this is your real lifestyle that you're about to be on, or you change it up and just go try to do it a better way. And then I made the choice to do it the better way.
So just move to Atlanta. Was there like we got something set up, or I get you a job, or?
Nah, I at that point I was like already not working for anyone, so I had gone months without a job. I was just doing social media stuff, like making money to pay rent. I was cool. Like I'm cool with just paying my rent and being able to be creative. So now that we make decent amount of money, that's cool too, but I was fine with living in a $700 apartment, paying my rent and doing whatever I wanted with the rest of my time. So when Corey was like, yo, come down, I got an extra room, let's take this to the next level, I was like, all right, we out.
So when you say come down, let's take it to the next level, you're thinking parties though.
No, I was thinking about the clothing business. So like once he left DC, we kind of left at the same time around.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say, if I can, I might have stayed a little longer. I might have stayed a little longer.
Corey, you're in DC. Justin, you're in Houston.
Yeah.
And you moved down to Atlanta?
Yeah, I moved down to Atlanta randomly.
Okay.
So like, I stayed with a few roommates. One of my guys was moving to LA. One was moving to Chicago. One was moving back to New York, and the other one was staying in DC. So I was like, am I gonna stay in DC? Am I gonna go? Like, what am I gonna do? Because I knew I would have to start looking for a place, and it's expensive out there. And then I had a place in New York. With my job at the time, and I had a place in DC. I knew I didn't want to move to New York. It was just already too much. So I was like, I'm going to Atlanta. It was really like, I just said I was going to go to Atlanta.
So you're going to Atlanta, you don't got nothing going on. You're like, hey, come meet me with
I'm going to Atlanta.
Nothing going on.
So at first, I moved down here, like he wasn't in the equation when I first moved down here. And so I got me a spot, like, I was still working for my other company, so I was getting paid to work remotely. And then we had started running a social media business, like marketing business, like from afar, but together. Just had the platform set up. And then I was like, I'm gonna start this clothing line again, like get back into it. And so at first,
we didn't talk about a clothing line. What clothing line again?
So well, in college we were also doing a clothing line, but that was my sophomore year. It had started up. So basically what happened was my cousin, who's a designer, he's a great graphic designer, I asked him to make some stuff for our state club. So I was president of the North Carolina club. He was Texas club. And so we asked him to make some stuff for us, and it came out hard. And so everybody was like, oh, this is tough. People that weren't from North Carolina and weren't from Texas wanted to buy them. And so we were like, okay, us being people who make money, we were like, okay, cool. So then somebody had suggested that we make stuff for all colleges or all students. And so we made a few items, and they were hits. Some celebrities got their hands on them, and it just started kind of getting like really crazy.
What did it say?
support black colleges.
Yeah.
But different design or same one?
Different design, but it just had a list of all the colleges on the back.
So this is 2000, what?
This is
13.
Somewhere around
13.
there, yeah.
I think 13.
Right.
Yeah.
So you came. So this design, 2013. You drop it. Got a list of all the colleges on the back. What happened?
So we were running it for a while. I mean, we did the fashion show at Howard.
I mean, mind you, like at the beginning, I wasn't a part of it. It was just him and his cousin, and I was just helping them out. So I was just like, yo.
You're a hustler. Yo, Justin would get his way in a situation. Like,
I was just like, and I wasn't even like that. I was just trying to, like, I made their first Twitter and I think Instagram. I don't remember. I don't think Instagram. Maybe just Twitter. Got them a couple hundred followers and like, yo, bro, here you go. Like, y'all do your thing. Like, good luck. You know what I'm saying?
But I think that's a good trait. Like, somebody who adds value. Like, yo, I threw parties before. Like, yo, I could be a part of this. I can help y'all just get money together.
And I always wanted to get money with him because, like, even when we were throwing parties and I was rooting for him to, like, come on with the squad, like, I know people who work. I can see that. And like, a lot of people on my team or just in general just can't outwork me or work with me. Justin could. So when I'm doing something else, I'm like, hey, Justin. I'm doing something else, I'm like, hey, Justin, because I already know what I'm going to get. And so, and then at the time, we also wasn't thinking about having the biggest HBCU brand in the world. Like, that wasn't it was kind of just like, this is another way to make money. Because we were throwing parties. We was getting bread. We would come on thousands of dollars on the weekend. So I wasn't like, oh, let me figure out all that stuff. It was like me and my cousin doing it. But me and my cousin's minds work differently. And so he sees things totally different from the way I do. And also, he never went to like an HBCU, so he don't understand like certain things, places you need to be at, and how I gotta see people every day if I don't got their order, and you just in Jersey, they don't understand that. So it just wasn't working out, and that's when I was like, I'm gonna put this to the side.
How'd y'all cut ties? Or y'all just put it down and you just decide to pull it up yourself?
I mean, like, it was something to where like we got into it a lot and butt heads, and then I was like, I'm over this, and I just kept doing what I was doing. But because I was a part of the initial start, it's like I knew that eventually it would come back, and we and him had talked a few times, and I just decided that I wanted to bring it back, and
Gotcha.
that's it.
So you were selling it in Atlanta, and then you came, Justin?
Yeah, essentially. So, like I said, I had just helped out a little bit in the beginning just to help out. And then while I was in Houston, I was on some like, yo, any way possible, I'm trying to get some money on the internet, like in the crib, doing whatever. So literally trying anything, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, literally whatever you could think of. And like, was failing bad. Like not bad, but I wasn't getting like, you see the gurus and whatnot, like getting real money. I'm like, that's not what's happening right now. So I ended up failing at it, and then that's when I got into other bullshit I was doing, and I was straight with that money. Like I was chilling. OD. And then that's when Corey hit me, and it was like, yo, come down. And then in my head, I was like, all right, so from all these failures with drop shipping, e-commerce, stuff like that, I know what to do, but I didn't have anything I could stand behind or a product I could push because I was just getting stuff from China, white labeling it and stuff like that.
That's where people get it wrong. Like you take multiple L's, but like all of that stuff comes into play. Even if it's a piece of what you learned through that L, it at least gives you some business acumen. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it definitely helped because even so, I remember the first time I asked you to come down, he didn't come. And it was because like stuff at home, people wanted him to stay and stuff. And I was like pushing for him to come. I kind of dropped it at the time, and then a few months came by, and I was like, bro, you need to be here because like you worried about what everybody else got going on. Bro, this is your bread, your life. You need to come down here because I know we can do. Then he was like, man, all right, I'm gonna come or whatever. And then he really came. And then, the story starts to develop. He puts all his money into it. I already had some inventory set up. And the next, I think, month we went on tour.
Yeah.
That was leading up to tour.
Yeah, because from my job that I was working and then from my other shit I was doing, I had like 10.
Give me the edited version.
Yeah, so.
Less explicit.
No. From the job that I saved up like 10,000, and then I came down with Corey, literally just packed up everything in my car, drove down, and then that's it. And then he had inventory already, like $20,000 worth of inventory. It was like, yo, if you want to buy into the business 50%, I need 10,000. And I was like, all right, cool. So I just gave him 10,000. We packed up everything, and then we went on tour to do all the HBCU tours that we go on.
Straight like that.
And I can show you a screenshot to this day. I had 2 pennies in my bank account after I sent him all the money I had, and that was it. And we just started moving from there.
Was you scared? Was you nervous?
Nah, like I know, bro. you can throw me in the desert, I'm gonna get money. Like I just knew I knew I was gonna get money, bro. Like it was no worry. Like I just knew we was gonna make it happen.
We've never done anything together and failed.
Yeah.
Like we've done a lot of stuff together, parties, events, like never failed, never lost, never. I'm talking never.
Yeah. So fast forward, then I'm gonna go back. Like what was the marketing campaign? First off, give me some of the successes you've had with the brand today, so far.
so many celebrities.
Yeah.
I mean, literally a long list. Tyga, Rick Ross, Eva Marcille, Teyanna Taylor,
Chris Paul,
just a lot of celebrities. We've been on two college tours last year and the year before. First year we went to seven schools. Next year we went to like 16, 17, hiring a staff of like 12 to 15 college kids.
Wow.
Some college, some not. Man.
We went from doing like a few hundred a day, like a few hundred a day to a few thousand a day to doing 100K every month. Like, it's just been a lot of different things. We asked to speak different places. We did a collaboration with Google.
Yeah.
They flew us out to San Francisco. We did something with them.
Shopify is flying us out next month to speak on a panel because we were like one of the black brands. It's like, I guess, on their radar.
We work with Coke. We work with just a bunch of different people. We're doing something with the NBA for Black History Month. Like, it's just so many different opportunities. We're just blessed to be in the position, you know, and now we're fortunate enough to be able to give back. We just gave a young lady $1,000 to go to China with her school, and we're doing a partnership with Slutty Vegan. In 2 weeks, giving food to the homeless, just trying to give back and put stuff like how people just support us. We trying to support others, and you know, it's just a blessing in general, just all of it.
So what's the sauce? What is the sauce? How do you get the brand this far? Like, do you feel like it's just the design, or like your strategy is crazy, or was it a little bit of just luck, or
it's
like,
everything?
I think it's
everything.
a combination of both. Like, I think one, you have to have design that's good. I mean, granted, you see people that don't have good design that still make money, so there's strategy there as well. But bro, honestly, I think it's just good design, influencer marketing, knowing how to run ads, and getting out there and touching the people, grassroots stuff as well. I think a combination of those four things can take any brand to the next level.
And to me personally, like, my most important one to me is grassroots, because that's how we threw parties. We used to be in the dorms, sitting at the bottom of the dorms, giving out flyers. We used to be in the cafeteria talking to every table. Like, we knew everyone on campus just from throwing parties. And so I know the impact that you can have when somebody can be like, oh, I know Corey. Oh, I know Justin. Like, they feel like they really know you. And I feel like that's how our customers feel. Like, they really know us, and they feel like they want to support. So people be pushing our brand that we don't even really know personally, but they really be pushing for us like they're our ambassadors. And it's easy for us because people see the work. People have seen us grow from the bottom. We're very transparent. You know, we kind of teach, like, we kind of show like what it really is. So, you know, as we've been able to grow and develop, I think for me, grassroots is so important. Like, even when we were on tour, we were printing out thousands of flyers, and I'm like, hey, I need 2 people to go to every dorm and put these under the doors, because that's what we used to do.
Yeah,
and I know that everyone will see that. For sure, everyone will see that. So to me, that's the most important. But then you add that with designs, ads, and all that stuff like that, then it just turns into a monster.
So with the influencer marketing, how do you approach it? Like, is it just DM? Is it, how do you do it? Not, right now, you probably have like connections and you're in, but in the very beginning, how do we get that moving?
Yeah, I mean, well, you could talk a little bit about that because y'all were working with like Teyanna.
Yeah, I mean, so the first influence we ever had to wear our stuff was Teyanna Taylor. And so the way I got that was because I threw it was in DC. I saw that her and Karen Civil were at the Howard Theater doing a party. So because I threw parties, I could get in the Howard Theater even if I wasn't doing a party. So I hit my man, so the Howard Theater, hey, I heard Teyanna was coming. I'm pulling up with my book bag and some gear. And he was like, all right, cool. So I came in, dapped the security up, you know what I'm saying? Walked right in there. So I stood outside of Teyanna Taylor's booth like the whole night. I'm like, literally, if this is like the little rope, whatever, I'm just standing right there just cooling. I ain't partying. I got all my merch on.
Hold on. Is it good? The number? Where's that?
24.
Oh, just start over. We just start over. It's over. Perfect. All right, go for it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm just standing outside of the little ropes, and then this lady comes up to me and was like, hey, like, you all right? You good? Like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just chilling. I was waiting to talk to Teyanna or whatever. And she was like, okay. So we started talking a little bit. It's like, what you doing? I was like, I have this clothing brand. I started explaining to her about it and stuff. And then I was telling her about my cousin in Jersey, and she actually is from Jersey. So I was like, oh, my mom's from Jersey, and we started talking.
Hold on. was your cousin still involved? Even on the relaunch?
This was before the relaunch. This is still the first. We had got Teyanna before we blew up. So this is still early on.
That's back still 2013.
Yeah. This is still like I was in DC still. And so I made the connection because they were from Jersey. My family's from Jersey initially. Jersey City.
Okay.
But we got people in Jersey City, Camden, Newark, like all around Jersey. And so it turns out her and my mom are from the same neighborhood. And so she's like, okay, cool. We're talking. So she's like, come on in. So I came in. I was still kind of off to the side, but I was in there. And so it turns out later that I figured out that was Teyanna's mom and also her manager.
Wow.
So we had been having this very genuine conversation, and I didn't really ask for nothing. I just said I want to give her stuff and I want to be out. I was really trying to leave. I wasn't trying to just be in there. So at the end of the party, she was like, follow us. I followed them to the back. I was in the dressing room with them, and then I gave her this stuff. Oh, this is fire, da, da, da. And that's how the Teyanna Taylor connection came. We dropped the picture together, and she also posted a picture on her social media, and it like hit all these blogs, and she swagged it out, and it was real crazy. So that's kind of our first influencer story.
But then it died down.
Yeah, so
And
then
now
it died
you're on
down.
the relaunch.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, like, I'm always one of those people. Like, I think of like influencers, celebrities. They're regular people to me.
For sure.
Like, people be like, oh, so I'm like, I'm gonna DM them right now, and I've DM'd a lot of people, and they respond, and they be read or whatever. I don't look at them any differently because I just know if our stuff is fire, they're gonna want it. So they just need to see it. So like, I just DM people, and most of the time they respond. If not, we email, or I just pull up. I'm a pull up person. So like, for instance, a few months ago, Meg Thee Stallion was here, and so she was at.
Did you get Megan a hoodie?
I'm gonna tell you the story.
Okay.
So
win for
it's
sure.
funny because Justin actually knows Megan's. I guess it's her assistant.
Yeah, her assistant.
He knows her assistant because they're from Houston, and Houston's real small. And she used to go to Texas Southern, so she was like a regular person before she was Meg Thee Stallion.
Right.
So we connected with her on social, DM'd her, and Justin's real cool about it. Like, he's saying stuff, but he's not trying to press it. I'm pressing it because I'm like, I see the value of that Meg Thee Stallion brings. I would know what she would do if she wore it. So I'm pressing. So they're going to they have a show at
Soundstage?
Nah, it wasn't Soundstage.
Tabernacle?
No, it's a smaller venue. It's near Atlantic Station.
It's the one right on the corner, right?
Yeah, right in the
I know what
corner.
it's called.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyway, she had a show there, and so I had a few ways I could get in. One of my homegirls got me a ticket and left it at will call, and then one of my homeboys is down in the dressing room area working, but I didn't know he was working at the time. So I got into the show. I had my book bag. I always have my book bag full of stuff, and I actually had 3 book bags. One mine's, and then I had Meg's, and I had her assistant's because I'm like, if I gotta give you something to give, and so Meg can get something too. And so I ended up getting down there, finessing. Then as soon as I don't know if I told you this. Mind you, we were about to do something. We were up late. I think we were about to go on tour or something. I was like so tired. I did not want to go. It was like 11 p.m. and whatever. So as soon as I got down there, they were doing a sweep. They're like, if you're not supposed to be down here, sweep. So I like quickly like jumped in the room and was like hiding. I luckily Ryan and TK from the Guidance Squad were down there, and I was with them because those were my peoples.
Oh, nice,
so they wasn't making them moves, so I was good. So I was good. And so I ended up weathering that storm. I got out, and when I found out who was sweeping the floors, my boy Yusuf, I'm like, oh, what's up, bro? He was like, hey, bro, I didn't know you need to get down here. You should have told me. I was like, oh, well, I didn't know. And so long story short, Meg was taking forever to come. I'm talking forever. I got there maybe like 10. It was like 12:30 and she still wasn't there. And I was tired. So I'm like, okay, where's her dressing room? I'm gonna put this in the dressing room and I'm gonna be out. I normally do the meeting and the intro, the story, all that. I didn't have time. I was tired. And I just remember we had something to do. I don't remember what, we had something to do. So Ciroc had sponsored that little like dressing room or whatever. So I ended up putting our stuff with all the drinks and like, it was like a part of the presentation because I knew they would go get it.
Right.
So I left it. I told the person who was blocking the door, I'm like, hey, I'm doing this. Everybody was cool with it. So I left. A few days later, but probably like the next day, I hit her manager or assistant and was like, hey, did y'all get our stuff? And then she was like, no, we never got it because we never went to the dressing room.
Ooh,
and I was like,
somebody
what?
came up.
She said they
Somebody
literally got there, got on stage, and she dipped. And I told her before, I'm like, yo, I'm leaving this in the dressing room, but she had never read it. So I'm like, so basically, it was left there. So I hit my boy. I'm like, hey, can you see if that stuff is still there? Obviously, it wasn't there. It was gone. And so that's how we missed Meg Thee Stallion. But we'll get her. We still have the contact, but I just got to pull up on them. Right. And so, like, I like the pull up approach. It was good. My name is Corey. This is what we doing. This is what we on. And, like, generally people are pretty receptive of it because I'm not coming off as, like, no fan. Gotcha. I always chill, and I know the right time to attack. But then we have the DMs, we have the emails, and it's different stuff. I just feel like with that, it's different.
So do you do more of the influencer marketing, and you do more of the ads?
Well, I do all of the ads, but we both do the influencer marketing. But like for some like tactical advice for influencer marketing, there's always going to be someone who you follow that follows a celebrity or that is in touch with them. So if you just follow that celebrity and then see who else is mutual between them, you can kind of get to somebody. Like everyone's always one person away. So you can kind of just say, oh, well, so-and-so follows them, and let me see how they know that person. Hey, how do you know so-and-so? Oh, that's my cousin's boyfriend, like, or whatever. So and it works out like that. And then, honestly, just hitting up mad people. Like, we send hundreds of DMs. So some people read, some people don't. Some people will read it, and then Corey, like, he'll press it, like, yo, did you read this? Right. Like you saw it, like,
so
what's up?
Corey's the presser, for
press
sure.
It out.
Oh, for sure. Justin do not like pressing people out. But I just
like, too. Like, I'm real like, if you like it, you like it.
I just feel like this, man. What's the worst that can happen is you be like, they press me? Well, listen, I'm trying to get you to read this. Like, but at the same time, I think it's just like people don't do their research. And so for me, if I knew we were going on tour, so I'm like, who's performing at all the places that we're going? We're going to FAMU, who's performing? The Baby, okay, who's performing at Howard? Who's performing here? And so I was always prepared to get some gear out. As soon as I knew where people were going, that's how, even the Baby came to Clark Atlanta. The Clark Atlanta Royal Court had came to our warehouse 3 days before to get a bunch of stuff. Then the next day, all their staff came to get stuff. So I was like, hey, y'all about to have the Baby? We pulling up, and we're going to give them stuff. And they was like, all right, bet. And that's how the Baby got some stuff. Like, literally, I hit them because they were the ones that booked them. And I'm like, okay, where he going to be at, and we ended up making that happen. So it's just like, do your research, know where people are going, and then when you get to them, have something to talk about, like the Baby from North Carolina. Okay, we can make that connection. Meg is from Houston, ready to make that connection. Like, we're going to make a connection with everybody. So you just got to make it make sense for them. And generally with stuff like that, it's easier to make that connection because then you don't have to pay for them to post. Like, they may or may not post, but you don't have to pay for it. If hey, here it is, I just want to give you, like, this is dope. Then they end up posting, it's like, all right, I won. But even if they don't post, there's people that catch them with it on. I saw the Baby with this on. He might have not posted, but people seeing it, that's good enough for me too. So it's like, we lose a $50 hoodie, but the Baby wearing it in some picture, it's cool.
And then even if you don't do all of that, just hit up a lot of people. We send hundreds of emails, we send hundreds of DMs. Some people respond, some don't. I mean, you just got to be willing to send out 1,000 DMs, 1,000 emails. And then even in the emails and DMs, we don't approach it like, hey, we're trying to give you something for free. We say, hey, we'd like to give you this for free, but if not, send us your rates as well, because we'll pay as well. So we just
we pay.
What's the most you've ever paid for a post?
Bro, luckily I don't think we've had to pay.
We've never paid.
Yeah, we haven't had to pay just yet.
We know.
So it's like, I'm saying, yo, I'll pay you, but especially from a small brand, obviously big brand, but in their eyes, they're huge. They're like, oh, well, I just support. Like,
I mean, it just depends. Like, Chris Paul, for instance, they were actually coming to play the Hawks, and I was like, hey, I need to get Chris Paul something. So I hit one of my mans that I hoot with that I know knows Chris Paul in some capacity, and so I was like, hey, I'm trying to get this Chris Paul, and he was like, let me see if I can find the right contact. He gave me his stylist's information. I hit his stylist, and she was like, oh, we bought something last week. And then it turns out, like, they had already bought something. I had to check to make sure we had shipped it. Right. He had it, and 2 days later he posted.
Wow.
And it was like, I didn't even have to go. I didn't even have to do all of that. Amazing. I don't even know how she knew about us, but it turns out she was from Greensboro, my same city. I don't know who the girl is still, but I mean, I know her name, but I don't know her. And it turns out he had just worn it, and he posted, and then it was crazy. When he posted, it was crazy. Like, Teyanna and him, Teyanna, him and Eva, they all bring a different audience. Eva's a model. Everybody knows her. Like, Tiana's fashion. She was with Kanye, like, a bunch of stuff. And then Chris Paul, NBA basketball, like, he's the head of the players. Every NBA player follows him. So we got a bunch of NBA followers, a bunch of models, a lot of people who like Teyanna. It's like, it's crazy. Wow. Like, but they really have buying power. That's why we say we'll pay, because we see the value in that.
The comeback.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So how do you guys build a culture? Because we were talking about it before, that nowadays, it used to be if you can get Jay-Z to wear your shirt, you're rich for the rest of your life, right? But now,
Probably
it's,
still.
it's not as, I mean, not really.
Yeah, and
because-
Beyonce wears it. You might be good for a while.
For a while, for
For
sure.
a while.
Those are the facts. But it's hard. It's harder now building a brand because everybody has their own brand, or everybody has a friend that has a brand.
That's a
or
fact.
One that they support, whatever.
Everybody.
So how do you cut through that noise? Did you ever consider that at all, or you're like, yo, it's gonna be the biggest brand in the
I
world?
don't think we ever considered it. I think one thing that's like just for us is that we have a message behind the brand. So it's not just streetwear and it's not just, oh, I want to look cool. It's like, hey, if you stand behind this brand, you're standing behind every HBCU. And that's what's important behind us. So if I show this to a stylist, I can say, we even DM a bunch of people's stylists. So we'll DM their stylists and say,
Everybody's
hey,
stylist.
you know, who's your client list and do they resonate with our message? If so, we'll send you some stuff. If not, it is what it is. So I think that's how we've been able to separate from just being another streetwear brand or another whatever it may be to just, you know, stay in our lane, our niche.
And
Do you
then,
guys focus on? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh yeah, and then I heard you say something about like how do you build the culture. See, to me, we're not building culture. HBCU is a culture. That's the culture itself. We're just promoting the culture. So we're not like reinventing the wheel. We're just talking about what already happens. And you know, back in the day, Martin and Will Smith, all of them used to always promote HBCUs. Snoop Dogg, they used to wear HBCU
Cosby.
stuff all the time. So all we're doing, we're reinventing the wheel just in 2019, 2020. So to us, it's like, people are like, oh, remember when they used to, people always be like, remember they used to make those old? I'm like, yeah, this is the new stuff, right?
for sure,
And then
for
people
sure.
can relate to it. But like, everybody, like, the thing about HBCUs is HBCU runs the world. Like, everybody has somebody on the team that went to a HBCU.
100%.
Everybody. Like, for instance, Michael Strahan, Kiki Palmer, and I don't know the other lady's name. They have a morning show. They're on a really popular morning show. And Michael Strahan went to an HBCU, but the guy who is their like stagehand went to Hampton as one of our ambassadors. Sent it to him, he got it to him. Like, everybody got somebody that went to HBCU, and when we hit them up, most of the time they know our brand already, so it's easy to have a conversation. It's like, hey, I want to send you something for helping, and I want to give them something for being them, and then let's see what happens.
Is it just you two as the owners?
Yes.
So did y'all ever get any seed capital? Did anybody ever put some bread in, like, yo, let me get a percentage?
Nah. we don't.
Have you ever been approached though? You've been approached, I'm sure.
I mean, people ask it all the
Yeah.
time, but
But it's never like serious. They never come with a
Yeah.
proposal and like, hey, this is what we want to do. It's more so just like, hey, y'all need money, and we're like, nah.
It's not money that you need. You need
Yeah.
we don't need the money.
Yeah, we
more. Yeah, for sure.
We gonna get the money from somewhere,
Yeah.
but we don't need the money. We need like little things. Like it just be.
I mean, we took Shopify Capital like once
Yeah,
or
we took
twice,
Shopify Capital.
but not because we needed it. We just wanted to see how it was. Like,
We just didn't want to use our own money sometimes.
yeah, sometimes
for
you just
sure.
want to use other people's money.
We were
So-
super
How much did you
nervous.
take from Shopify?
The first time we took
22,000,
22,000,
the first time
and
we
we were
did.
like shaking, like do we want to take
Yeah.
this? Because we could have. I think we were trying
Was
to.
it based off business credit?
Nah,
It was-
you basically take it and they take 10 to 15% of your daily sales until you pay it back. So if you have a low day, they don't take a lot. You have a high day, they take a lot.
So we knew we weren't
based
really
on that.
losing it. They would just take it before it hit our account.
Yeah.
And also they do it based off of how much money you make on your store. So they see the patterns, they look at all that.
Yeah.
And they say, based off what you do, we can offer you 22,000.
Right.
That was the first time.
was the
Then we
first
took it another time, I think right before Black Friday,
took
so that we could buy more
57,000.
stuff. And we took 57,000.
Yeah.
And
And then they give you a set number. So if you take 22,000, they'll say, hey, you have to pay back 25,000. So you know you're only spending $3,000. You're
sure.
taking 22 to spend 25, but you need it now, so you just take it now and then pay it back over time.
I opened a store in South DeKalb Mall, and South DeKalb did me so dirty. But yeah, I took one of those loans. Now you think about it, it's like, all right, I think I might have took I don't know, 28,000 or 30,000 or something like that. The interest rate is like a set, like 20 something percent. It's like 23%, and they just put it on top, and they just took it out of my payment processor.
Yeah.
So they gave me the option of just taking it out of my account every day. I was like, my account be too shaky. But they just took it off my payment processor.
Yeah.
So if anybody ever does that, take it off the payment processor because cash they can't touch. You know what I'm saying? But I took that joint. Like, you gonna give me what?
Yeah.
Oh, run that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're offering us like 100,000 or something like
I
that.
bet.
But
Because we pay it back. I think the first time we paid it back in like 3 months.
3 months, and
the
the
next
second
one we paid
time
like
5 months.
Yeah, I mean we pay it back pretty fast. I mean,
so
to pay $57,000 back in 5 months, they were like, "Oh yeah, we gonna give y'all some more bread."
Yeah, so now we're just debating like, all right, we essentially have like $100,000 in a credit line or like just money that we can use for whatever. So like, do we want to put something down, get some Airbnbs going? Like, do we want to use
I was
it
going
for
to
like,
ask you
whatever?
that too, because as entrepreneurs, the more money you make, the more you want to do other stuff, which is a trick of the enemy. I'm telling you, because it's it's like, yo, I can focus on something else, but when you focus on that something else has to take a hit, like no matter what. The good news is y'all got a couple people, and y'all got, I'm sure you got staff and team, but
for sure.
Do you ever think about other ventures?
All the time. He's so like, Justin is the researcher of us. Like he like does his research. He knows what's going on. He knows the economy. He knows all that. I'm more like, whatever he say, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it. Like, which could be a good or bad thing. But I'm pretty much in from the most things he says. So we looked at, buying some houses, fixing them up, Airbnbs, just a bunch. I had a do-rag business at one point in time. Made like $40,000 off of that and just stopped doing it.
During this period?
During the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning. Yeah, at the beginning, before he moved down here actually. And I was making bread selling do-rags that I got for like $3. I was selling them for like $40. And I had no idea what I was doing, mind you. I wasn't running no ads. Like, if I would have really done what I was supposed to do, I would have made a bag. But I just didn't know until he came. Then I knew. But we were doing something else at that. Like, it was already over at that point in time. But I mean, we always think about other business things. And right now, we're getting Support Black colleges to where it runs without us, for the most part. So that we can do other things and, travel and do stuff like this. Like, we're trying to free ourselves up a little bit.
Because my thing is always like, when you get into entrepreneurship, you think that it's going to be, something that it's not. So my thing is, we got into this for freedom. So let's free ourselves from it so we can do other stuff that we want to do. So a lot of people make it a job, and it's just a higher paying job, but it's still a job. So my thing is, how can we take it to the next level, get somebody else to do that task, take it to the next level, get somebody else to do it until we're completely free. So now we can do whatever we want.
Gotcha. Yo, would y'all sell?
No,
not right now.
No,
not at all? You mean to tell me if somebody's like, yo, Justin Corey, I'm gonna give you $100 million right now for your brand? It's not enough.
We gonna make that. That's not enough.
200 M's? Like, did you get the key? I mean, that's the difference between
I wouldn't sell for 200 mil.
No, Justin.
I think about this a lot. I think about it a lot because I'm curious of what someone would offer. Because Corey's saying that now, but if someone comes and is like, "Hey, here go $500 million," I'd be like, "Hey, let's have a conversation."
Right.
So,
I mean, for sure we have a conversation.
$100 million.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But I know we can make that too. So it's like, I know we can make that with it running by itself, and us having equity and having a business 20 years from now. Like, my kids might want this business.
That's what I think about.
So it's like, for them not to ever have to work a job, they could just take this. Think about if FUBU was still running and Damon John's kids were just running that. They would always be good. But like, I mean, obviously with 500 M's, you could be good too.
But 100,
I wouldn't sell for 100 M's.
You wouldn't sell for 100?
We would have to have a conversation.
Yeah,
Like, it's not like yes.
I was talking to my boy. He's doing like millions a month, and I want to say he's doing like 20 million. He's like, yo, somebody give me 150 million for this, they can have it. He's like, yo, what I can. Yo, you know what I can do with $100 million?
I mean, of course. $150 million? You can do a lot.
That's a lot. But is it the passion, or you're saying, yo, I could probably make more?
I mean, to me, the reason why I think I wouldn't initially too is because we actually care about the brand, and that's what separates us from a lot of brands. We are a product of this, like, you know what I'm saying? And the connections that we get, the opportunities that we get because of it. When you sell it, you lose that. And it's like, now what we talking about? I mean, I guess I could just buy a bunch of Airbnb. I could do a bunch of other stuff and make more money, but the connection's different.
But you don't think like you just create something else?
Yeah, I think so. But
I mean,
I also think
I
guess it depends on the person because like I enjoy building business, so like we're still in that process. So it's just like I like the process, so I want to continue it until I feel like. Once I get to a point and I'm like, hey, I'm done with this, then I'll let it be known. But it's not that point yet.
I'm going to ask you in 2 years. 2 years, you're like, yo, all this stuff. All right, but anyway, yo, does his cousin hate you right now? No? Because
his cousin hates me
right now, huh?
My cousin hates me. they talk. They talk, but
Did he ever try to get back in?
It's a real sensitive situation.
Right, yeah, for sure. I can imagine.
It's a real sensitive situation. He still sells the brand, but it's just not. It's not what we're doing.
Yeah, no, I dig it.
It's just not what we're doing. It's a real tough thing when you're working with family.
Yeah,
and it's I mean I don't have no hate or ill will towards them. It's just we think differently, and so in business it's just really hard to do business together. First of all, he's not here, so that's one thing. But we just do things differently, and because he's a designer, he sells sneakers, like he's getting his money there. Right. And because we actually went to back classes and this is what we like really live, it's easy for us to run it.
Yeah.
What was did you see any other brands on your way up that you maybe took notice to, or you wanted to model after, or like what were some of your favorite brands that you saw, or y'all just kept blinders on like, yo, I'm just going?
I mean, we see brands all the time, but to me and I'm only speaking for myself. People are not really touching us, and I feel that way because
before, like,
even before,
no?
I just don't like. I have brands that I like myself, just like personal. Like I'll buy some stuff, but then also like for real, I wear basics and I wear our stuff. So I wear some Nike sweatpants and our hoodie every day. Same with him. I mean, we pretty much dress pretty simple. So like, I mean, there's brands I see that I be like, oh, this is a dope piece. This is a dope piece, but like, as far as a brand as a whole, like. Most people just do screen print or like we brought the Chanel patch. Now everyone's doing the Chanel patch. Like there were certain things that we did that the split. We did a half and half crew neck. Everybody's doing half and half now. So it's like I saw somebody do a jumpsuit. I was like, we just did that. Right? So I mean, I feel like there's good brands out there. I mean, it's always gonna be people who can design. There's some people who are hard designers, but their quality's not good or they're trying to cut corners. And so I feel like as a complete package, like I don't see too many.
Yeah, because a lot of these people, I think they come from a place of design in general. So they'll be really good designers, but they don't have a pixel attached to their website. And they don't know how to market correctly. So I think that's where a lot of people lose. But as far as like looking at anybody or trying to model after anyone, I don't think we did. But we pay our respects to the people that came before us, like the AACA and like people like
FUBU.
that. So we know about
there's
them,
people
but,
who
we don't model our business after them.
Yeah, I mean, we respect a lot of people, like, and even like the other HBCU brands, it's Tradition, HU Pride Nation. I mean, it's a bunch of them. We know all of them. I have a group text with all of them. We're like, where y'all going this month? We're going here. We're going to be here. Like, it's no competition for us. It's enough money for everybody. I feel like our stuff is going to sell wherever, and if y'all feel like y'all stuff is going to sell wherever, we can all go to Howard Homecoming. Guess what? We all going to make bread. I see people at every event. I'm like, oh, what's good? We know vendors at every event, and we be like, what's good? Like, it's all love. Because y'all not about to, just because somebody buys a A&T sweatshirt from me, that don't mean they're not going to come buy an A&T sweatshirt from us. It just means they got a little more money to spend. But that's not our problem. So it's all good with us. I mean, we love other brands, but we just know what we have and we like focus on that.
Yeah, we just try to operate with an abundance mindset and also just like collaboration over competition. So we're not worried about what anybody else is doing. We stay head down, focused on what we got going on, and if hopefully that'll take us to where we want to go.
So what do you think, guys, is the next step for you? Or obviously, what you're doing now is working, but is there something that you want to do that it's not the time yet, or you're working on?
Yeah, I mean, last year was us being selfish and focusing on our brand, just building it, and we did that. So this year is our year of collaboration. So we're doing a lot of collaborations right now.
And what does a collaboration look like?
It depends. So I look at it in 4 pillars. One is an activation. One is scholarship donation. One is an actual capsule. And then the other one is... I
think it was just 3.
Oh, maybe it was just 3. Yeah, it was 3 of them. So either like, it could be like us and UNCF partnered up to give a scholarship to a Howard University student. It could be us and Slutty Vegan teaming up and giving away food to the homeless. Like that's a collaboration, but it's also like, okay, us and Kith made a capsule to release limited amount of time for, whatever. Or it can be something like, what was the last one, collaboration? Oh, activation, where we do like an event and we sell merch and like HBCU night with the Hawks. We're speaking on a panel, we're gonna sell merch. It's doing a bunch of stuff, but that's a collaboration. So it could be any different thing. It just depends that everybody's is super unique to that person.
Yeah.
Dope.
So that, and then just scaling the business up. That's all we're focused on this year.
Yeah, for sure, scaling and bringing people on. We brought hella staff on this year already, and like last year, I think we really went with about really 3 people the whole year, but then we like added people for events and stuff. But now we have like 7 people like every day. So it's getting.
I need to figure out how we could do something with social proof, man.
For sure.
We need to do something together. I'm into this.
But
Bring
listen,
some college students. I want to bring 100 high school students to the conference. So Social Proof Conference, we'll have about 50 speakers, like high-level, high-performing entrepreneurs. And we'll have about 1,700 attendees come through that are looking to build their business. So obviously, I definitely want you guys a part of the Six Figures in Fashion brand panel.
Yeah.
But I want to figure out how we can.
yeah,
I don't know
let us
what
know.
we could do. We do something.
It's always like it's hard to like you have to think of something and then we'd be like, okay, cool.
Oh, for sure.
Because we always tell people like I want to collab and we're like, what you want to do? And they'd be like, I don't know. And they'd be like, all right, well let us know and we'll be down. You gotta let us know, and then we figure it out.
Yo, let's get together and no, I don't want to get together and figure it out. Bro. Like you come to me with some answers,
Exactly.
and then I can say yay or nay. I don't got.
Right.
I'm trying to mastermind my own stuff. I don't got no time to
Exactly.
mastermind.
That's what people don't understand. I
together.
don't have time to be I'm trying to think about our next design. I don't have time to be thinking about what I could do with you. Like I need to figure out my own stuff. And if you come with me with something and it makes sense, all right, cool, let's do it. And if not, then we'll figure out something else.
How many designs do y'all have?
Right now,
Probably like 100 something.
Really? Because there's the one I see most.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking about SKUs. Designs. We probably have like 5. I don't
So
know.
yeah,
we
so
have more
this
than 5.
design, but like you'll have different kind of hoodies, pants, stuff like that, right?
yeah, I mean this logo is going on most things. Now we have like stuff that we haven't released yet it's a ton of that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, some have the logo on it, some don't. We have school specific stuff, a lot more now.
Yeah.
So I mean, we got a few
a lot of
collections that have not been touched. We're just working on the back end of stuff. Yeah. But we have at least 7 collections unreleased that are completely done and designed. We're just getting samples and stuff done now, and then as the time comes, we'll release them.
Do you have something that you think that will perform better than that?
Our hoodies, no.
Yeah, like that's like the staple.
They'll
That's-
sell forever.
These will these will never stop selling. But we have items that we can sell for more and run it up.
Yeah.
Our split crew necks that Chris Paul wore, when Chris Paul wore, it sold out like
Immediately.
yeah. And we like the only problem with those is like it's so expensive to make them, and it's just it's a process. So we haven't released them yet, but when we do, people love those things. People ask us, we haven't released them in like what, a year and a half, 2 years,
it's been
and
a
people
while
still
now.
ask every event.
Yo, do y'all produce stateside or overseas?
But it depends on what it is.
Most things are here, and then a few things that like if it's a little harder, like cut and sew stuff like this, we'll produce it overseas.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to thank you guys for coming. I know y'all got a lot going on. I want to ask 2 of y'all this individually, the same question, but I like to make predictions on the podcast. Meaning, I'm going to ask you where you feel like you'll be in the next 5 to 10 years, so that we can look at this 5 to 10 years from today and say, yo, they was on the Social Proof podcast. They said it 5 years ago. So I want to start with you.
It's hard to tell because we've grown so fast. I mean, we've only really been
And now the
doing this-
possibilities are endless, right?
Yeah, I mean, like when he first moved down here, a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was kind of like, let's just do this. And now it's like, okay, we're really doing it, and it's going crazy. I think we'll be an established brand. I think we'll be in a bunch of retail stores, specific stores that we want to be in. My goal, I told him one of my goals or things I want to do on my bucket list is playing an NBA All-Star game, celebrity All-Star game. Because the celebrity All-Star game, you don't have to be a celebrity. Like they had a guy, James Shaw, he saved somebody from a Waffle House getting shot. And so he played in the game. Then you have like just random people like that play in it. You had the 2 realtors who have the TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Like just random people. I feel like if our brand's big enough and for the culture, we already got some NBA players that love it. I would love, we love playing basketball. So that would be something I could see us doing. But that's like very wishful thinking. But I see us as being a household name. I feel like we are getting to that point. But I wanted to be there and also like running just a huge operation under it. So
I love it. 5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years, I think, because, I mean, we haven't talked about this now, but we don't pay ourselves anything right now. So I think we'll be making very hefty salary 5 to 10 years from now.
You don't pay yourselves anything?
Nah.
I mean, you got to pay yourself something, because neither one of y'all got a job, right?
Nah, but we got
We
like
have-
social media
yeah.
stuff on the side too. So
Oh,
Yeah.
so all the money goes back into the business, and
Yeah.
y'all do separate stuff
yeah,
to make
but
money.
separate stuff that's like completely passive. So
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
But we also we didn't mention this, but last year we worked for Tyler Perry for the whole year. So that was we
Doing
were
what?
social
Social
media.
media.
Social media. Yeah, so a lot of people didn't know we were doing that, but we did a lot. We are marketing guys who have a clothing line. We're not designers. We don't design. We do design, but we don't design.
Yeah.
We just marketing people. That's why it looks so good.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
But yeah, I think household name. I think by then I'll be like heavy into real estate because I'm super into it now. I think I want to own at least 1,000 units somewhere around there. I want to buy my mom her own laundromat. That's all she talks about. Do that for her. I don't know. That's all I can think of right now.
travel the world.
Yeah.
Which you already have done, but
Yeah, we travel.
Marriage? Is marriage anywhere in there somewhere?
I'm
got-
probably closer to him. I'm older than him, so I just turned
How old are you?
28.
You're 28? How old are you?
25.
25.
Yeah,
okay.
so I just turned 28 on the 14th, and I have a girlfriend now, so I'm closer than him because he doesn't have a girlfriend.
Right.
but
I still just put mad pressure on you. My
I
bad.
mean,
She's
to
looking at
me,
it
like,
"Nah, you said.
it's like I told her from the beginning, I'm not dating just to date. That's stupid. I'm 28. I'm trying to live my life. So you just never really know. It's really early to tell, but
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
you just never know. I would probably be before him, but
25.
I mean he's
Out here
25,
Getting to the money. You
but
know what
he's
I'm
not a
saying?
typical 25
Got
year
all the
old.
hair and all that. So are you dating though?
Yeah, here and there.
A little something.
I
Nothing
really be
serious?
chilling, bro. I'm
He has
weird.
zero patience
I'm weird,
for Atlanta
bro.
women. Atlanta women are a different type of woman. So
Right.
Bro.
if they don't fit into
ain't
what
with it
we
right
got
now?
going on,
Nah, I'm just weird, bro. I'm weird. I read every day. I write my goals down. I listen to podcasts. I
Yeah.
don't listen to music unless I'm with people. I'm me. I just
But this especially in Atlanta, it's the city of entrepreneurs. It's some little joints, I'm sure.
oh yeah.
Some little things that hit you.
Yeah.
Yo, I want to read books with you. Let's read together.
nah, I never heard of them. Where they at?
I focus on the bread.
Yeah.
And if something comes around, don't get it twisted. I do something if I need to. But as of right
He
now,
said,
I'm
I
chilling.
put butts on move if I need to. Okay. All right, so just hit him
No
up
cap.
on the DM. Just know he out here in these streets. Okay, somebody better snatch him up. All right, so I guess
It's a dating
wrap-
show.
Right.
hey man, I try to make connections.
Contestant
You
number
never
3.
know. Look, some people might come to Social Proof just to meet Justin.
Hey, we're gonna have to give you some strong nap for that, man. For sure.
So, all right, cool. Just, I guess, introduce. Just everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah.
The website, and just let everybody know how they can stay in touch with you.
Yeah, so if you want to reach us, our Instagram is Support Black College, no S, Support Black College. It's a lot of fake pages, so Support Black College, that's it. Only one, and our website is www.supportblackcolleges.org. And you can just basically keep up with us like that. You can find everything you need to know for those two channels.
You got a personal page too?
Yeah, my personal page is Mr. Arvinger, MrArvinger.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, just in case this girl mess up, you never know. You know what I'm saying?
She ain't gonna mess up. She gonna do me right. She gonna do me right.
She good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So my personal Instagram is iHoNation at IHOENATION. So that's it.
Gotcha. So for the beginning, just leave us with a couple keys for a beginning brand. Somebody's watching y'all like, yo, I got a good idea too. I got a good marketing strategy too. What would you tell somebody starting their brand?
Me personally, I would say find your niche and go ham in that niche. Go find it, go ham, do your research, and really do the most you can in that niche. And I will also say grassroots marketing. Get on the ground. Be at Juneteenth. Be at this event. Be at this event. Be at this event, so that people can start knowing your face and your brand. Everything else will work itself out.
Yeah, for me, I would say learn Facebook ads, learn Instagram ads, and learn it yourself before you try to outsource it to someone else. So, and then learn influencer marketing. Those two things can take any brand anywhere. So as long as you learn those two yourself before you try to outsource it to someone, that can take you somewhere.
I love it. Yo, make sure you follow these guys. Really genuine, really humble individuals, and really about the business. So I learned a lot today. Oh yeah, y'all said y'all had a story for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
that was good.
you had your brand at Juneteenth, the past Juneteenth, right?
Did I?
Yep.
Yeah.
You were there at the Home Depot lot.
I wasn't there.
You
Yes,
were
I was. You were there.
My man Jamal might have been there.
brown skin dude.
Yeah.
You had somebody working your booth. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't.
okay.
It wasn't actually you. It was somebody else.
Okay.
But you came by. I remember seeing you. I think the first day you just like came to make sure everything
I
was
wasn't
straight.
there, bro.
No,
I
you
don't think you
came.
was.
No, I saw
promise
him.
you I
Oh, you
wasn't
did?
there.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm 100% sure.
I was at BYOB last year, and I saw y'all.
No, I was there too.
I
You were
promise I
at
was not.
Juneteenth because I.
Oh, the outside joint.
Yeah,
yeah.
Home Depot.
I'm
Yes,
about to tell you,
I
he was there.
there.
I seen
I
him.
did, I did
Yeah,
pull
I
up.
did
Yeah, I was
too.
with my fam. Yep.
Yeah. So
Did we talk?
No, we didn't talk.
We didn't.
Towards the end, and it was just like a soap opera. Like, we was hot out there, so we had to make something shake.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was a blaze.
Yeah,
out
so
there.
we had to make ourselves
I came
entertained.
out for like 15 minutes. Like, all right, I'm out of here. This is
Yeah,
crazy.
that's one thing we won't be doing next year is vending ourselves. We will not be vending ourselves next year. That's for sure.
Dang, that's what's up. Yo, I appreciate you fellas coming through.
No problem.
And just keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're
Appreciate it.
doing. Keep building. Obviously, in partnerships, it gets really, really rough. Obviously, y'all have a great relationship. Just watch for the stuff that's coming that will try to put a wedge in the relationship. There's always, and I mean, you might have experienced it already, but there's always stuff coming that's gonna try to put a wedge in a relationship. So y'all just stay tight. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing, and make sure y'all follow, support Black colleges. Okay, I need my hoodie, man.
I got
Sure,
you,
we
bro.
got
All right, a hoodie or a jacket. That's either one. I'm out of here.
For
All right,
sure.
y'all. Peace.